presidents with us today. The gentleman from Salem, Mr. Habeeb.
Mr. Speaker, I rise for the purpose of two motions.
Gentleman may proceed.
And, Mr. Speaker, I request that HJR 172 be called up out of order.
The clerk will report a resolution.
House Joint Resolution 172, celebrating the life of Caroline Jean Stalker.
The gentleman from Salem.
Mr. Speaker, I move adoption of the resolution.
As many as favor adoption of the resolution will please rise. That resolution is agreed to.
Mr. Speaker, speaking to the second motion and the resolution that was just adopted. Mr. Speaker, I don't know that anybody who hasn't served in this body or worked in these buildings understands what a family everybody here at the General Assembly is, from the folks that work in legislative services, to the folks that serve in this body, to the pages, to our staff, to the folks that clean the bathrooms, Mr. Speaker. We all have a shared experience here that I'm not sure anybody outside this room understands. And a month ago, we lost a member of our extended legislative family, Mr. Speaker. Caroline Jean Stalker was an attorney with Legislative Services, and she passed away on New Year's Eve, December 31st, 2015, at the age of 42 after a courageous battle with melanoma. Mr. Speaker, despite facing insurmountable obstacles over the last several months of her life, her family and friends said that she faced her battle courageously, unwaveringly, and her determination and without complaint. I can speak firsthand, having gone to visit her in the hospital when things were not looking good at all, that all she cared about was how her experiences were affecting those around her. Ms. Speaker, Caroline was born in Glasgow, Scotland, but moved to Virginia at the age of 3, attended schools in Richmond, and went on to college at Washington Lee, one of the first classes of female students to graduate from W&L. While she was at Washington Lee, she majored in German and was a member of the girls' basketball team. She worked for a nonprofit for a few years before going to law school at Wake Forest, my alma mater as well, where we actually overlapped by a few years, although in different years. She came back to Virginia and clerked for a judge in Virginia Beach, passed the Virginia State Bar, and began her legal career. And in 2007, she came to work for Legislative Services. She worked on House and Senate committees on transportation. She then went to do transportation policy with DMV, and then made the decision to return to Legislative Services in 2014, where she was assigned to staff the Courts Committee, and specifically the Civil Court Subcommittee, where a lot of us got to work very closely with Caroline. Those who serve on courts know that within this family that is the General Assembly, there are other subfamilies, and those of us who serve on courts are truly a family with our staff and our colleagues. Ms. Speaker, a lot of people may not have known Caroline because she was such a quiet person. She never sought the spotlight. She was driven to do her best in everything she did, from school to work to her volunteer time. She never sought to outshine anybody. She did good work for the sake of good work, not for the sake of accolades. The time that I got to work with her, I saw her to be a true professional who truly cared about the Commonwealth of Virginia and getting things right. She was very close with her family, Mr. Speaker. She's survived by her mother, who we got to meet in the hospital, Ursula Stalker, as well as her brother and sister-in-law, Stephen and Ashley Stalker, nieces and nephews, Morgan, Campbell, and Carson. Ms. Speaker, Caroline had a full and fulfilling life. Her untimely death leaves a sense of a life unfinished. But, Ms. Speaker, if the measure of one's life is the impact we leave on those who we loved, then there's just no doubt that Caroline Stalker lived a remarkable life. She may have never taken a recorded vote in this body, but she affected the policies of this Commonwealth in many meaningful and long-lasting ways, as so many of our staff do, although they oftentimes go uncredited by our constituents. Ms. Speaker, for all these reasons and for many more that I could never say, I request that when the House adjourns today, it do so in the honor and memory of our colleague who has passed away, Caroline Jean Stalker.
The gentleman from Salem, Mr. Habeeb, moves that when the House adjourn today, it adjourn in the honor and the memory of Caroline Jean Stalker. As many as approve that motion will please rise. That motion is agreed to.